Hello everyone, welcome back to my communications blog. This will be my final entry. Today I will be covering the week 13 reading, the last week of reading for class. And as always, I'll be talking about rhetorical act first. We had two of the paired readings from chapter 2 this week to wrap up chapter 2. And the first article was Women and the Rise of Raunch Culture by Levy. And this article was about how, throughout history, women have been frequently objectified and even now are still frequently objectified by both the media and movies and all types of the media, and by men as well. Women have unfortunately been objectified by men for years. And then she went on to talk about this new phenomenon known as raunch culture, where modern women are over-sexualizing themselves in an attempt to empower themselves by doing things such as becoming interested in pornography, going to strip clubs, wearing revealing clothing. And she made the point that raunch culture is harmful as it is demeaning to women and it resurrects female stereotypes. Ultimately, she argued that women, in attempts to sexually liberate themselves and empower themselves, are conforming to men's ideas about female appearance and behavior, which I thought was a kind of a dated point to make, because the whole point of female empowerment is to be free and is to take back what women had been denied for so long. And I thought that was kind of a dated opinion on female empowerment. That was just my opinion. The next article was Pop Culture's Transgender Moment by Sonali Kohli, I believe it's pronounced. And this was about how transgender representation has been really lacking in the media, especially in movies and TV shows. In films and TV, trans characters are often, when they are even shown at all, are often portrayed as either, they're put into a box, they're either portrayed as a victim or a villain, or they're diminished and portrayed as like insignificant sex workers or something. And so there's really not a lot of role options for trans actors and trans characters. But recently that's being changed with shows such as Transparent and Orange is the New Black. These shows have given us, they've done wonders for trans representation, and the trans characters in these shows are given deep and complex personalities, along with real families and fleshed out backstories. These characters also deal with issues that do not revolve around their gender identity, which is a huge step, as they're being treated like normal characters or average characters that go through, everyday life and face normal issues, not revolving around the fact that they are trans. And, they are normal characters, and it's good that they're being treated as such. These shows are available. The author also made the point that these shows are available on huge online platforms such as Amazon and Netflix, which are viewed by lots of young people, which in turn gets young people to speak out and raise their voices about trans rights. And so, all in all, trans representation has taken a huge leap forward with these shows, which is good. Now moving on to the rhetorical act reading. This was chapter 14, I think the last chapter in the book, and it was Understanding Occasion. This is all about how understanding occasion and setting are critical for well-defined rhetoric and rhetorical effectiveness. This chapter touched on Aristotelian rhetorical genres. There were three. There was forensic, which is in a judicial setting. It deals with justice and injustice. There's deliberative, which is in a political setting. It deals with conveniency. And then there was epidectic, which is a ceremonial setting. It deals with either praise or blame. And they talked about three different types of rhetoric for special occasions. First was eulogistic rhetoric, which is the purpose is to reknit the community, honor a deceased person if they have died, and recall core values of a community. Its audience would be a community of believers. The tone would be formal, uplifting, and unifying. The structure would have an emphasis on present tense and loose chronology, and the evidence would be no proof required, and it's used for amplification only. This would be if someone had, a family member had died and you're gathered together to honor and recall them. That would be when you would use eulogistic rhetoric. Next was wartime rhetoric, which the purpose was to initiate action and justify military action. So the audience would be the nation, the military, and Congress, and Congress would be the agents of change who could actually enable the going to war and provide the funding for going to war. The tone of this would be serious, urgent, and controlled. This is something we need to do. The structure would be narrative, like almost like there's an inbound threat. This is on its way. We need to do this, this, and this to prepare. And the evidence would be downplayed and be subsumed by a superior persona. The last rhetoric they talked about would be apologetic rhetoric, which would the purpose would be to alter perception and repair someone's image. You see this a lot when celebrities make a mistake or political figures are coming out to apologize for a controversy. And this, the audience would be the public, the general public, especially those assigned as jurors to a court case. You would really want to you would really want to reach them with this message. The tone is defensive. You're trying to apologize. It's controlled and it's intimate. You're trying to be very personable and show that you're an okay woman or an okay guy or an okay girl. That's why you're trying to apologize. The structure would be short and quick narrative. You don't want to bore people. You want it to be a quick and concise apology. And the evidence would be, you would treat yourself as the expert, and all types of proof would be appropriate. You're trying to apologize, so anything you can use to apologize would be considered appropriate. That was basically it for chapter 14, and I just thought I was cool how there's like different types of rhetoric for every occasion, and basically like depending on what type of the occasion is, there's there's a tool for every occasion, and it depends on what's going on and how you can use that to boost your speech and boost your effectiveness. That's all. Thanks, guys.